David Parker. Point of order, Grant.
Apologies to my colleague, Mr. Speaker. I just want to make a point of order under Appendix B, Clause 8(2), in reference to the Prime Minister's point of order, referring to what does not need to be disclosed under 2E. It says any government, parliament or international parliamentary organisation, if the primary purpose of the travel was in connection with an official parliamentary visit. Ms Collins was on a ministerial visit, of course, so she should have declared it.
Order. And points of order shouldn't be used for that. That's very much a debating point. Order. I've called his colleague, Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. Does he stand by all his statements?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, yes, in the context it was made, and I particularly stand by my answers to the previous question when I said that numbers are not the member's strong suit after two glaring errors in a press release last week, and I guess that's why Labor produced an alternative budget with no numbers in it, because they don't even rely on their own numbers.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question.
Does he stand by his 2010 budget statement that, quotes, unemployment has already fallen to 6%, close quotes, and if so, why is it that 4 years later the unemployment rate is still at 6%?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I do stand by those statements, and as the members will recall, if they remember the 2010 budget, it forecast 174,000 additional jobs in the economy by mid-2014. That forecast is pretty much on track. Of course, the job market has had to absorb a fast turnaround in New Zealanders leaving Australia. Less and less New Zealanders are going. In fact, they're staying home in large numbers. The job market has had to absorb them, and that has meant the unemployment rate has not fallen as fast as we would have liked it to.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Does he stand by his 2011 budget statement around asset sales that, quotes, the expected revenue from offering minority stakes in these 5 companies is between $5 billion and $7 billion, end quote? And if so, did he raise $5 to $7 billion from the sale of state assets?
Honourable Bill English.
The member is overlooking the numbers, as you might expect. We sold 4, not 5, and for the 4 we got $4.7 billion. And we're very pleased that we are able to put that cash in the Future Investment Fund, a fund which we can now use to build more schools, renew our hospitals, underpin our infrastructure investment, and the member will be hearing more about that over the next few days.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Does he stand by his 2012 budget statement that New Zealand household savings rate is positive for the first time in a decade and is forecast to increase to almost 4% by 2016? If so, why is the household savings rate now negative?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, I do stand by the statement. Of course, any forecast has to be borne out by what actually happens. But it's worth noting that the member usually ties savings rates to the current account deficit. The current account deficit is running now at less than half of what it was when he left office, and we owe the world a lesser proportion of our GDP by quite a significant margin. When we came in, our international obligations amounted to about over 80% of GDP, and they're currently 65%.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Louise Upston.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Supplementary question to the Minister of Finance. Does he stand by his previous statements about forecast job growth, and how has the employment market performed against those forecasts in recent years?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, any forecast of jobs is dependent on the confidence of businesses to invest more capital and employ more people. That's where new jobs come from. They don't come from the Easter Bunny. In New Zealand, in Budget 2010, the forecast was for 174,000 additional new jobs by mid-2014, and Budget 2011 forecast 171,000 jobs would be added by mid-2015. The latest household labour force survey essentially confirms that those forecasts have turned into reality. But what lies behind that reality are businesses and workplaces willing to invest another dollar and therefore employ another person, not just have wish lists.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Does he stand by his 1999 statement as Minister of Finance that Labour's then promise to get unemployment under 4% was impossible, on which he was proven wrong by the Labour Party having an average of 3.9% unemployment for 5 years?
Honourable
Mr. Speaker, at least the members moved on from relitigating the 1975 election, and now he's relitigating the 2008 election. Labor still believe the public got it wrong, throwing out that Labor government that did so much damage to the economy. Well, we'll never quite get to test that theory, but many New Zealanders have been pleased that the economic management has become more steady, more prudent. It's taken a longer view and it's supported the people who actually make the decisions about jobs, which are businesses and workplaces, not governments.
Question number 5. Point of order, Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr. Speaker, I seek leave to table a document which defines an official parliamentary visit as meaning one that is part of the approved annual approved official travel program administered by the Office of the Clerk.
The source of that document?
Sir, it's the Registrar of Pecuniary Interests.
Order. That information is freely available to members.
Speaker.
Order. This is a point of order. 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 This is a point of order. It will be heard in silence. Honourable Gerry Brownlee.
Mr. Speaker, this sort of thing is going to go on and on, so I would suggest that those who are interested in this story take a look at page 12, 8.1, and then the notes under 8.1 through 4, which make it very clear that you do not need to include overseas travel if costs were incurred by yourself, a close family member, the Crown, or by a government, a parliament, or any international parliamentary organisation as part of an official parliamentary visit. Okay. Mr. Speaker.
Order. I've heard enough. What we're now seeing from both members is the use of the point of order system, seeking leave to table a document as a means of continuing a political debate. Question number 5. Order. Question number 5. Order.
It's parliamentary, Gerry.
Question number 5, Dr. Russell Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.